Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual on your show, and my own asexual life journey in order to help you and yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're finding the content helpful, useful, insightful in any way, shape, or form, or you just want to give this channel some like love. I really do appreciate it. In a few moments, I'm going to be discussing with you why it is so hard to find love without sex. Because I am asexual and I lack sexual attraction. I don't want sex. But before we get into it, if you didn't know who I am Sandra Burmy, author of this awesome asexual book. It's Asexual Perspectives, not just my perspective, but 46 others, so 47 in total, asexual perspectives, and that's all about love, life, and sex, and it's a celebration of our asexual diversity all across the asexual spectrum with real life asexual stories in it. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualise Academy, and the author of this awesome fibromyalgia self-help handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia to Have Less Pain, More Energy, and Feel Happy Like a Superhero Rock Star. And the links to those are in the description. But right now I'm going to get on with the video, and today's episode is all about why is it so hard to find an asexual relationship, or why is it so hard to find a sex-free relationship? Why is it so hard to find love without sex? So I apologize for being later on my stream. I did have problems with my Mac earlier. I wasn't feeling very well and my whole Mac screen went black, so I guess it knew I needed a rest, so I'm a little bit late coming on. Well, about an hour and a bit late coming on here, but it's worth waiting for. So yes, why is it so difficult to find love without sex? Well, I do look a little bit puffy-eyed today because I have had kind of a tearful day in some ways, because I do find it really difficult myself to find love without sex. I find obviously friendship love, and it's some of the most purest love I've ever experienced in my life. It is just crazily amazing. It just feels so good to have real good best friends who really love and care about me. They don't go around saying I love you, but actually my female friend does say that more than my other friends, but you know, I know they mean it in a friendship way. But you know, so that is amazing. It's friendship love like I've never experienced in my life before. It's really amazing. So in terms of friendship, I can get love without sex in terms of friendship love. But if we're talking about in terms of relationship, which I usually do in this context, because obviously I wouldn't want to have sex with my friends, then you know, I would look for love without sex with someone like a romantic partner in my case, for example. And it's really is hard to get love without sex, but it's not impossible. I have asexual friends who are in relationships with other asexuals, and one of my friends is even married to another asexual. They're really happy together, and I've got a friend who's engaged to their asexual partner. They're both asexual, so it can be done, right? There is hope. It can be done. People actually living and breathing asexual relationships are actually having a relationship permanently without sex ever. It does happen. It is possible. So first of all, I want to give you some hope and know that it is possible, right? It is possible because I see it with my own eyes. I know people who are having these type of relationships and they're very happy, much in love, right? But why is it so hard for a lot of asexuals to find love without sex? Unfortunately, with asexuals, as you know, we're just 1% of the population, but that is still huge, right? 1% of the population is like 1 in every 100 people, and there's billions of people on the planet, right? So you know that there is a lot of asexuals out there. The problem is a lot of people don't realize they are asexual, and many of them who even find out they're asexual are, you know, in the closet, as it were. They don't tell people. They're not proud to be asexual. They don't wish people to know they're asexual. They're worried about it. They're concerned about it. They're fearful about it. And that doesn't help the situation, because it means there's less people that we know of that are asexual, even though those asexuals are probably, some of them, not all of them, because there's more proportion of asexuals that are aromantic, so those that lack romantic attraction as well as lacking sexual attraction, so there's a greater many people that don't actually want a relationship than do. But of the ones that do, that they are probably looking like, even I've gone to now, as traditional date sites, which, the majority of people on them are just looking for sex. So it's very, very difficult to find these people, because, they a lot of them don't, so to start off with, there's quite a lot of people that don't even realise they're asexual. They don't understand about it. They've never heard about it before. They think they're the only one on planet Earth, like I did, who doesn't want sex, who doesn't associate sex with love, who can have a sexless relationship, but it would be very much full of love without sex, because sexless doesn't equate to loveless. People mix the two. A lot of sexuals, like, oh, there's no sex in our relationship, like there's no love, and that's completely load of rubbish. Love isn't the same as sex, and sex isn't the same as love. There's two separate things that some people choose to put together. So it's hard, because there's a lot of more asexuals, I believe, probably even than 1%. And there's a lot of people that don't realise they're asexual, and that's because a lot of people are afraid of saying they're asexual, afraid of what their families think, their friends think, their relations think, and they're scared to come out. But even on my channel now, having more and more sexuals say that it's difficult for them. Obviously, I'm asexual, so I am very much supportive of asexual, but they say the sexuals are saying it's difficult for them in relationships when they're married and they find out their partner's asexual and the partner doesn't want sex with them, and then they feel they're missing out on the sex, right? If society was to change and to accept asexuality, then situations like that would be far less likely to happen, because more and more asexuals would be comfortable in telling the partner that they are asexual, and people wouldn't get into necessarily these relationships from the off, so they wouldn't be so heartbroken, or both have unhappy relationships. That's not to say that some asexuals can't be happy in relationships with sexuals and have sex. Some asexuals are fine, but if we're talking about finding love without sex, for the asexuals that don't want sex, it is a lot harder, because obviously on traditional dating sites and in dating groups, predominantly they are heterosexual. And it's hard because some people don't believe us about our asexuality, and some people don't even read your profile. So I got this guy, right? I'm on mingle2.com, which is not an asexual dating site, right? It's for people that predominantly seem to be really heterosexual, right? And it's like, this guy can clearly see all over my profile is I don't want sex, not interested in sex, don't want marriage, don't want kids, right? I'm looking for a monogamous sex-free relationship, right? And then he's putting, and then on this place that you get matched with people just by looking at their face. Oh, hi, Ben. Have you ever used Tinder? No, I haven't used Tinder, Ben, because I really don't want to be getting sexuals. I know Tinder's supposed to be the most sexual dating app out there, isn't it? So no, I haven't. I don't know if I'll ever try it. Oh, thank you. Thumbs up, lots of love. I don't know if I'd ever try it, but I don't really want to, because it's just well known for swiping for sex. But anyway, so this is bad enough being on Mingle. This is really difficult, right? So I'm on Mingle, right? And I got this 4 days ago. I got this match. So it matches on mingle2.com. It matches people just by swiping across people's faces, right? And I get aesthetic attracted, so I could say the person I like. But obviously, I usually also look at people's profiles as well if I'm really, really interested. But they got a swipe feature. So if you put, yeah, you like someone, you don't know what type of person they are unless you dive straight to their profile, right? So anyway, this came up with a mutual match, and this guy goes, "Hello, sweetie, how are you?" ? Then, "Are you serious?" I'm looking for love and relationship. What are you looking for? ? And it's like, this guy obviously doesn't believe me. It's like, I've clearly said in my profile what I'm looking for, and it's yes, I am serious. So I put, it says what I'm looking for in my profile. I'm asexual, not heterosexual. And yes, I seriously am looking for a no-sex ever monogamous romantic relationship. So that was the end of that. Hi, Heather. Lots of love to you. A swinger Tinder, laugh out loud. No way. Oh yeah, I don't really want to go on Tinder. I've never ever even, it's never appealed to me. Because like being on Mingle too is very difficult because people, one guy said, oh, why are you on, that's another thing, one guy's attitude on mingle2.com is like, he was very frustrated that I was on there and didn't want sex. He goes, oh, it's a hookup site. I'm like, if it's a hookup site, you should say it's a hookup site. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So there was this oh, there's a guy who liked my Asexualise Academy page. He's quite good looking, actually. I digress. So anyway, so this guy friended me, sent me a friend request earlier, right, today. And this is on Facebook now. So I've gone off Mingle. I'm now talking about Facebook. This is another example of why it's so difficult. So, obviously the guy on Mingle didn't take seriously what I said in my profile. And it's like, yeah, I'm being serious. And then with this person said, hey, and I'm like, hi, how do we know each other? And he's like, we don't know each other, really. I found you on Singles UK group, which is not an asexual group, right? But I'm in it anyway, just to see if there happens to be an asexual person turn up in there, right? Because it's got a few thousand people in there. So there should be some asexuals. If it's 1 in every 100 people's asexual, like that should be 10 per 1,000. If there's 3,000 in the group, that's potentially 30 asexuals in there, right? But obviously they're not necessarily going to be in there. But I did actually see in one of the sexual dating groups, I actually saw someone from one of my asexual groups in there. Female though, not male. And I'm into guys. So that was obviously they deciding to try these things out as well. So this person said that they know me on Singles UK group. And I said, okay. Well, did you read my profile bio that I am asexual, not heterosexual? I genuinely hate sex. And he's like, not really. I totally opposite. I love sex. This is what I mean. I get all the highly sexual guys after me constantly. The ones that really love it. Like he said, I love sex, which I don't. These are the type of guy I always get. I attract the real opposite of who I am. But apparently I've got a sexual aura, according to one of my gay friends in the past. And I put, okay, well, that doesn't surprise me. I said to him, the highly sexual guys are always attracted to me and I can easily get sex, but I don't like it. And I do not associate sex with love at all. I don't experience any sexual attraction at all. Aesthetic and romantic attraction I do, but not sexual. So we would definitely not be suitable for each other, as I really hate sex. And looking for a strong guy for me who can be in a loving and committed, super romantic, monogamous, no sex relationship with me. I also don't want kids or marriage, and I like to kiss in public and hold hands. I don't like nakedness. And then I said good luck to him. This guy actually is foreign and lives in London in the UK. So it's not like I couldn't have actually met up with him after the lockdown, but you know what I mean. So obviously I'm not going to, because he loves sex, but you know what I mean. It's like, it's not like this guy's in another country, so it's just like it's very frustrating, because so many people love sex, and obviously a lot of people are conditioned from birth to think and believe that way, so they're kind of like not used to any other way. There was another guy who I thought had potential, and he connected with me. He saw my message in a dating group, and he said that he'd like to know more about it, and could he basically add me as a friend or whatever. So anyway, I thought, I'll message him on Messenger, because I said, he's welcome to message me. And then I put that you replied to my post in UK Singles, and he put, I did indeed. And then I was actually Skyping my best friend, Sam, and I said that I was talking to my best friend on Skype, and I just saw a message, you wanted to let you know that I saw the message. They said, I'm glad you got back to me. I said, great, we'll message you more, sounds good to me. But this guy then, when I looked through his stuff on his profile, he had memes to do with sex. And so again, it's like, there's absolutely no point in me going to that type of person and carrying on the conversation with them, because clearly they are sexual. You know, they're posting stuff like about titties on their memes on their page further down on their Facebook profile. They were saying some disgusting stuff about women having sex on a guy's chest and stuff, and skid marks and disgusting stuff like that. It makes me want to throw up, to be quite frank with you. And I just saw that and I thought, no. And also, he needs to be told what to do by his female friends, by the look of it. And he said that he doesn't like himself very much and a lot of other stuff, you know. And I just told him straight, you know. I said, basically, asexuality is a sexual orientation. That is a lack of sexual attraction, meaning I don't get the need, urge, or want with partnered sexual intercourse, however much I love him. So I put, I'm looking for a strong asexual guy for me, and I checked out some of your profile posts just now and saw you have some sex ones, and I am not interested in sex at all, or a guy's anatomy. I hope you find a suitable girl or guy for you. And I just left it out because I'm not sure if he's bisexual. It's possible because I saw some of his posts, and it seems like a lot of people, like women, say he's a nice guy on there. When I've seen them, obviously they're quite sexual. By the look of it. And you know, and he said, oh, I don't feel I'm good enough for anyone. And then he's got guys as well as women saying, I like you. One woman lives in the USA and he likes this woman that lives in the USA, by the look of it. But you know, I need a strong guy for me. I need a guy that's not going to be easily led by his lots of female friends. Do you know what I mean? Like he said about shaving his hair, which I think would look, I've seen him and I don't like facial hair and stuff like that. And I think he would look far more better looking. He's foreign, would look far more better looking and younger with his beard and stuff shaved off and his short hair, to be quite frank. And one of his male friends said to him, yeah, you should do it. And he's done it, you know, and then he was worried about, you know, that it not being the right for his figure, basically. And then the women basically say, oh, no, you should keep the way you are. And he stayed like that. And I'm thinking, if you don't like the way you look, change it. Do you know what I mean? Just do it for yourself. And when you come from that place of not loving yourself, do you know what I mean? That's why it's also harder to find love without sex. Because if you're not loving yourself and you're not caring about yourself, regardless of where you got a partner or not, it's going to be a lot more difficult to find someone. Because if you're down on yourself, you're saying that you don't like the way you look, you know that your life isn't great, which is what this guy is basically saying, and lots of other negative stuff about himself. You know, if you're saying stuff like that about yourself, it's not very attractive. Do you know what I mean? And so a person, in order to love you without sex, has also got to see your heart. Do you know what I mean? They need to, you know, there's incompatible needs, right? A guy who really needs sex in a relationship, or any gender that needs sex in a relationship, and you don't, clearly that's not going to work, right? Someone's going to get upset or hurt or be doing stuff they don't want to do, or both of you are going to be miserable because your needs aren't being met. So there's no point in going down that rabbit hole, as I call it, and carrying on and persisting with a type of relationship that's no good for either of you, right? If neither of you wants the same things, don't bother with it. It's no good, you know. So, and asexuals do need to be upfront about their asexuality, regardless of where someone believes them or not. He sounds like below 25 years old. Oh, what, the younger guy that I was talking about? I think he's 23. The guy that I was just talking, the last guy I was talking about. Yeah, the last guy I was talking about memes. Yeah, I think he's 23 from what I worked out. It doesn't say on his profile his age, but I think he's about 23. Yes, yeah. Because obviously I like younger guys, and he is foreign looking, even though he's in the UK. But I mean, I told him clearly that, you know, I need a strong guy, because he's actually posted down his profile, thanks for the thumbs up, that he's a weak guy. And I'm like, how many times have I said on this channel, I need a really strong guy for me? And as soon as I saw that and the memes about sex and stuff, you know, it's like, and, you know, I thought, because of some of the stuff he said, I thought, you know, sounds like he needs to grow up. I mean, he has got some mental health issues, a lot by the look of it. And I do understand people who've got mental health issues. But I mean, when he's doing memes like that, you know, regardless of whether someone's got mental health issues or not, I don't want, you know, to be around a guy that's talking about women's breasts like titties. I hate that type of language. You know, you shouldn't be speaking about female at me like that if you're respectful of a woman. Thanks, Heather. So you understand what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're sexual, there's a way of talking to people and a way of not, and that's not the way of speaking to a woman, speaking about her private parts like that, you know? It's disgusting. And yeah, especially the meme when he's on about sex on the chest and skid marks and stuff. It's just like I wanted to throw up. I thought this is really disgusting. And it's further down his profile, so I couldn't actually see it initially. His profile, first of all, he's quite gothic, which is different to what I'm looking for really anyway, but he's nerdy, which I do like a nerdy guy and stuff like that, so I thought that was quite appealing. And he was foreign looking, lived in the UK, and he seemed genuinely interested in me and knowing more about asexuality. But when I saw his profile, I'm like, you don't love yourself, you don't even like yourself. It clearly states that all the way along. And I understand, because I was depressed years ago myself. I do get a lot of that stuff, but it's not where I want to go. It's no good me being with a guy like that potentially in a relationship. And plus, you've got the fact that he's posting sex memes on his Facebook. I don't want that type of guy. Do you know what I mean? I really don't. And I don't want someone who's like, like he had the opinion of his bloke friend, and he had the opinion of female friends about his hair, that he was asking everyone what they thought, or he wanted to cut his hair, but wasn't sure where he should or not. What does everyone think? And at the end of the day, he needs to make decisions for himself. It's absolutely no good getting into a relationship or having a potential relationship with a guy who can't, or whatever gender it is, it can't make their mind up. If they can't make their mind up of whether they should go and get their hair cut or not for themselves, and they don't like the way they look and this are asking for help from everyone else, it's not going to be a good relationship. That person can't take care of themselves. They don't know what they're doing with their own life. They're not going to be able to be stable going forward in a relationship with you and a good person for you. Just by looking at a person's profile, I feel sorry for them. I really do. And I feel like I should reach out and say some stuff to them, because I think they need to do a lot of stuff. I can see where they could easily improve their life. Because at the end of the day, we're all responsible for ourselves. You know what I mean? And we're responsible for our own decisions and our own actions, and we shouldn't be relying on other people to tell us what to do. It's nice to ask an opinion sometimes of friends and stuff, but at the end of the day, occasionally I ask opinions of my friends as well. Well, I suppose I do quite a bit more with business stuff rather than personal stuff, but you know what I mean? Like, for example, like I like the way I look. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't change my looks unless I wanted to change them for me. And then if I did, then I would decide to just go out and do it. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to change my hair, I've never asked someone about my hair. I mean, when I was young, I was made to have my hair cut short by my parents, and those used to want to grow it long, so that was difficult, which is why I grow it really long now. I love having long hair. I really do, and I prefer my hair longer, personally. But do you know what I mean? I like the way I look. I like myself. I love my face and my smile and my hair and my body and stuff. It's not the most perfect body in the world, but it's perfectly mine. And I've grown to really love myself and like looking at myself naked in the mirror, despite the fact I don't like looking at naked women, for example. And it's hard to get love without sex, or it's hard to get any type of relationship, good relationship, if you're down on yourself, if you don't care about yourself, if you're being negative about yourself, if you've got no self-esteem or self-worth, because you'll be easily led by other people. And that's why it's so hard to get a relationship as well, love without sex, is because so many people are being easily led. Obviously a lot of sexual people are easily led by their genitals, sadly. And they should be thinking more with their minds than their genitals. But it still isn't the case a lot of the time, But I was really pleased. It was weird because I got this guy contact me as well, which I didn't understand why he contacted me. And it was a couple of days ago. Where is he? Oh yeah, this guy is really weird. This guy contacted me, and he was a member of two dating groups that I'm in. And he said, "Hello, Sandra, how are you?" And I said, "Hi, I'm good, thanks. I'm not into muscly guys. I prefer thin and skinny guys." And then he said he was an admin of one of the groups that I was in, which I thought was quite strange. Why bother to say hi? Because I thought, and then he said he just wanted to say hi, which was kind of really, really strange. I think I mentioned this on my last stream, actually. But the point I wanted to get into now is that he actually did say in the group, which I missed, the post that he said, oh, he's going to be checking to make sure people in the group are real because there's a lot of fakes in the group since he's took over. He's not actually an admin, he's a moderator, but he says he's an admin. But I mean, actually, his official title is moderator, and all the other 4 people are admins. But never mind. But anyway, near enough, right? And so he's trying to clean the group up. And he said, I was really happy to see some of his posts. He said that basically, 2 women came into the group, the UK singles group. He's a moderator of, and they came into the group. And as soon as they'd only been in there a couple of hours, I think it was, and then they went out of it again. I don't even know if I can find the post because literally they were being sent nudes. They were being asked for nudes and sending stuff like that. And so, you know, and he said I've taken, I think it's 25 people out of the group. He said that's not a way to speak to ladies, and I think that's really good that he's actually doing that. Look, this UK singles group has got over 8,000 members, so there might be an asexual person in here. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to see if I can find his posts. But I don't know if I can because it said it was the one where he said that he was basically removing people from the group. I don't know if I've passed it now. Oh, it's really nice as well because I've got my own tag. So in the group, they've tagged different male, looking for like men, women, and then non-sexual relationship. I'm the only one who's got that tag, so it's very, very easy to find my post, which is probably why it's got 151 comments on it now. But yeah, I can't find his post because I was going to read it out, but basically he's saying that's no way to talk to a woman, you know, and that you shouldn't be posting, you know, you shouldn't be sending women dick pics and nudes and stuff like that because it's not on. And there's quite a lot of fakes. They've literally removed 20. He's removed, I think it was 25 people from the group and said it's not to happen again. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, there's a guy that looks really young in there, but I don't know how old he actually is. Yeah, so this is the guy's actually asking, should people just be from the UK as well? Because it's a UK singles group, but there's people from all abroad. Do you know what I mean? So I think this guy's trying to clear the you know, rubbish up in here, which will be good, because for far too long there's been like, you know, people posting disgusting stuff. I can't even find much of it now. So it's not appropriate because it doesn't attract the ladies. Exactly, Heather. It doesn't attract it, but it's also, you know, people like guys seem to have forgotten how to treat women with respect. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like it's not going to attract the ladies. It's not really going to get them the lot of sex they really want in the end. Do you know what I mean? It's like no wonder a lot of these guys can't actually get sex because they don't even know how to speak to a woman. It's like all manners have gone out the window. And even if they do get sex, it's not going to be like consistent, is it? It's just going to be like women's just going to get fed up with the person, unless they don't mind being trapped like that. But you know what I mean? And I totally agree, Heather. It's not appropriate both ways. Yeah, it's just, yeah, they're not going to get the sex, and they're not going to get like, you know. You know what I mean? If a guy actually wants sex with a woman, he should treat her with some respect, because otherwise, unless a woman doesn't have any respect for herself or is like from a place of lack, because obviously like I came from a place of lack years ago, so I did put up with rubbish from guys because I thought I was no other option, you know. But now, excuse me, I've got really good role models in my life, you know, guys who can be without sex in my life. I know it's possible now, so it doesn't matter what these guys say to me about her. Like, you know, some of them are really horrible on dates. Like, they're like, oh, you're having a laugh, you're never going to find that, you know. There was this one guy on Mingle too, and he's like, oh, you're having a laugh, lass, you know, I come from up north, and, you know, even to hold someone's hand is going against their culture, and whether with Asian people and stuff like that, you know. And I had another person who and oh yeah, and that person messaged me last night saying they're interested in me. I thought, you're saying you're interested in me after you had a go at me, the fact I like younger foreign guys, and you're saying I could never get one without sex, and even to hold my hand in public would be going against the culture. I mean, I go to nightclubs in my city and I get foreign guys holding my hand when I walk out the club. Do you know what I mean? And I've had foreign boyfriends in the past. One of them wouldn't hold my hand, and I split up with him over it. I'm like, no, you're prepared to snog me or whatever in private, but you want to keep your dirty little secret, do you? Is that what you want to do? It's not. I'm not having it. So so split up. But other foreign guys I've been with haven't been like that. They've been far from it. They've been really snogging me in public. But I mean, obviously, I haven't actually been with specifically had a relationship with an Indian guy, but we know for a fact that that guy was snogging me for an hour in a nightclub. And anyway, like every person's different. I do believe there is someone for everyone out there, and I believe that not everyone is jam packed exactly their culture and their background. There's bound to be people that are different. People that don't stick to their normal culture. I mean, I met an Egyptian guy in my actual city. He's been here for 3 years, but I told you that he said, but he's not asexual. So he can live without sex basically, but he doesn't want kids. And he told me his culture does, in his family, when they get married, they have kids, but he definitely doesn't want them. So that is different for his culture. And he's Christian. And he said most people in his country are not Christians. So there are people that are different to their own culture. It proves it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it is hard to find love without sex when you are certain cultures and certain religions and stuff, like especially when people are arranging marriages. A lot of foreign parents arranging marriages, and the best thing to do with that is to actually tell your parents, have the guts to tell your parents that you are asexual and you require a person to be with you in the marriage that isn't after sex, because obviously it can lead to a lot of misery if you don't want it, but unless your parents know that, how are they supposed to find you a relationship with an asexual person or someone who can live without sex if you don't even tell your parents? I mean, yes, it's a very private, personal thing, but at the end of the day, so is marriage a very personal, private thing, really. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's a family thing. So, there's a lot of things that go on, but there is a lot of disrespect, I think, these days, and there's a lot of people that aren't really wanting a soulmate relationship so much. A lot of asexuals, we love for a deep emotional connection, more of a soul connection. And so that's why it's hard to find love without sex as well, because obviously predominantly the world is made up of heterosexuals, and even more so sexuals in general, but also because they tend to also love for a different way. They tend to love on a physical level more than a soul emotional level. But I do believe there's someone for everyone out there, and it does make me sad when I think it is hard to get love without sex, but I know it's not impossible. And it makes me sad that there's not more people realizing they're asexual and that can stop thinking they're broken or something's wrong with them. If there were more people that realize they're asexual, more people that weren't afraid to say they're asexual, it'd be a lot better. It's like, for example, with me, it's no good me being with a guy who's not open about being asexual, or who's not proud to be asexual, or who wouldn't kiss me in public. Those things aren't acceptable to me, because I'm out about being asexual. I'm proud to be asexual, despite the fact it's hard to find a relationship without sex. I'm very proud to be asexual. I need a person who's not hiding. There's no way you can hide my asexuality, because I wouldn't let anyone hide my asexuality, because I'm out. And if someone's with me in a relationship and I do this channel, people are kind of going to really know that the sexuality of that person, because I'm not going to stop doing this channel. It's most important that I help people, regardless of where I get a relationship or not at the end of the day. But I need a really strong guy. And I believe there are strong guys out there. But, they seem to be few and far between, but it's hard, because I find that the sexual guys are stronger in some ways than asexual guys, in the sense that they're strong, as in they don't, even though I'm asexual, they don't really care, in the sense they'll still be seen with me and I can say I'm asexual, and they're strong that way, but they're not stronger willed. They are easily bent by society. They're easily molded and shaped into thinking sex is a be all and end all of a relationship. They're very weak when it comes to boundaries around other people. They can't resist sex a lot of time. Inclusion is hard these days. Yeah, Heather. It's very difficult because, I agree with you. It's very difficult because you know, everyone's brought up to think that sex is the norm, and if you're not having sex, you haven't even got a relationship. And me and my friend Sam have discussed this before, you know, like Sam said that other people have felt that they shouldn't be on dating sites because they don't want sex. And it's kind of like, you know, I got this attitude the other day. This guy, I don't know if I blocked him or what now. He was so frustrated that I wasn't into sex. I don't know if I've still got him on. I don't know if I've got Ming up. But he was so frustrated. He was on Mingle and he was so frustrated that I didn't want sex. So it's like, oh, you know, I can't believe you're on here. You know, it's like I have as much right to be on there trying to find a relationship if I've specified that I don't want sex as anyone else. Because it doesn't say, you know, this is a sex site. You know what I mean? It's like, and I wish there was more dating sites that actually had the word asexual, but a lot of people don't even know what asexual means. And this is why it's hard to find love without sex as well, because if you put asexual on your profile, a lot of people think it means you're a sexual, highly sexual person. I get guys all the time thinking asexual means I'm a highly sexual girl because it's asexual. Like, you know, they don't know what the A stands for. It means absence of sexual attraction, absence of wanting sex, basically, in short terms. And so that does cause a lot of issues for me, you know, because they see that and they think I'm highly sexual. And also, why it's hard to find love without sex as well is because it's very difficult, even within the asexual community, to find someone suitable to be in a relationship with. A lot more asexuals prefer not to have a relationship because there are more aromantic asexuals, those that lack romantic attraction, as well as sexual attractions. There's far more aromantic asexuals. So those that are not bothered about relationship, those that don't need to be in a relationship, those that want to be in a relationship. So they're higher statistic. For me, I prefer guys. I'm not attracted to females whatsoever. So it narrows down my option to guy, or guy. And then I'm an extremely romantic person and absolutely adore kissing. So each individual asexual person has got each individual asexual person has got their own needs. Do you know what I mean? So it's really, really important that you know that you are that you are remaining true to who you are and not trying to be someone you're not just to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very important that you do that. So obviously, whilst maintaining your own integrity and individuality, we all have different needs, because a lot of my friends, they're into guys. Do you know what I mean? A lot of my asexual friends are into guys, so clearly I'm not the gender they would be looking for. So that's why it's harder to find love without sex as well, is if the people that you are mostly in contact with are romantically attracted to a different gender than who you are, because obviously, it's going to be really difficult for you to get the right person. You're not going to find it amongst those people. Do you know what I mean? When they're clearly not attracted to you. Like, I'm not attracted to women. I get women attracted to me as well as guys attracted to me, but I'm really not attracted to women one little bit. I never, no way, shape or form, I've never been attracted to women. So my pool of people is less, and there's more women asexuals in general. Overall, statistically, there's more women, or more women that are known to be asexual than guys, whether or not that's because of society, making out that guys have got to be macho and got to have sex and be driven by their hormones and their dick. I don't know how big a part that plays in it, but it might play some part, that to be a man you have to have sex, do you know what I mean, and you have to be doing that type of thing. And, when society's that driven by sex and driven by stereotypical roles, it makes it very difficult for people who are not fitting into those roles to actually feel like they fit in at all. And instead of like trying to find out or seek or discover people like themselves, instead it puts them in social isolation a lot of the time. It puts them with walls around them. It puts them wanting to protect themselves because it's painful. It's very painful when everyone around you doesn't understand you, when everyone around you doesn't understand that you don't associate sex with love, that sex is not something you innately feel the need, urge, or want for. It doesn't come naturally to you. It's not part of who you are. It's not your makeup, you know? I have never had that. Even as a little kid, as a teenager as well, I never ever looked at a guy and wanted sex with them. It was never ever in my mind. Never. I just want the kissing and the romance, you know, the sweet innocent stuff that movies are made of, you know, and I still want that to this day. It's never changed. You know, I'm a person that doesn't change on some things, and other things I've developed and grown myself and changed a lot for the better, you know. But I still, you know, I still desire that teenager style relationship, that sweet innocent fun before this sex rubbish comes along. You know, when I say sex rubbish, obviously some people love sex, but you know, for me, it's just like, it's like when you hit a certain age, you're expected to have sex, and it's like meant to be the be all and end all of relationship, and you know, it's kind of like, it's just like, that's not love. Sex isn't love. It's like, where's the pure love gone? You know, where's this sweet innocent love gone when we don't need to worry about hormonal stuff and genitals and rubbish like that? We just get on with loving and caring and kissing and hugging and holding each other tenderly, you know? That's the type of love that I would love to have with the right asexual, foreign, younger guy, you know? It's that beautiful, that pure love, where you don't need to be doing disgusting stuff and things that don't make you comfortable and, you know, unpleasant to you as an asexual person as opposed to a sexual person, you know? And I just find it, you know, it's hard. It's a struggle for me. And I've been on asexual dating sites now since 2014, but I know my niche and my needs are very niche, but I still say at the end of the day, do not try and force yourself to be something you're not, because there's no point. At the end of the day, you need to either be with someone who's the right person for you or stay single, you know? But I just wanted to reach out to you and know that, you know, if you're experiencing difficulties as an asexual person finding love without sex, it is possible, because I've got friends who are in relationships with each other who are asexual, who don't have sex and have the most loving, beautiful relationship they've ever had in their life, you know? I've got very obviously loving friends, which is amazing. But I do desire a romantic relationship, you know. I really, really crave that sometimes, and I do get sad sometimes, you know, being honest about it. I do get sad because it's kind of like, I wished I had that young teenager style love that you see in romantic movies like all the time, because I feel that way about myself quite a lot. I feel loved up on life. I feel loved up on like just romance, you know what I mean? I love romance, and it fills my soul with joy and excitement and wonder, and I just would love to have a guy to share that with, you know, like, because obviously I don't kiss or cuddle my asexual friends, you know, that's strictly off limits, you know, that's boundary. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. That's a boundary that I don't cross, and I would really, really love to find the right asexual guy to be able to kiss and to cuddle, you know, because obviously when I go out with my asexual friends, I have the most amazing time ever, and I would not swap that for the world. And I would rather have my asexual friends than not, you know, regardless of whether I get a boyfriend or not. You know, my asexual friends are of the utmost importance to me. Utmost importance to me. You know, but there's certain places I want to go sometimes, and I just, obviously I can't at the moment because of lockdown, but you know, I just want to kiss and cuddle. And you can't do that with your friends unless obviously you're polyamorous or like doing that with your friends and agree to it together. In my case, I'm fiercely monogamous, and I don't believe in doing that with my friends. I have different boundaries. You know, I have boundaries specifically between friends and a relationship. Very strong boundaries, you know. I don't kiss and cuddle my friends. That's for a romantic relationship only. And so it's difficult, and I know there's not just me like this. There's my asexual friends, particularly my best friend Sam's like that as well, you know. And I wish for them to find a beautiful relationship, because they're such a gorgeous soul, you know, but are such an amazing person. You know, I'm not aesthetically the look that they would be interested in romantically, but they are an incredible, amazing, beautiful soul. I want them to find someone for them and be happy, you know. I really do. They deserve someone to love them and to kiss them a little bit, because I'm not as into kissing as I am, and cuddling and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I just wish for everyone to be happy like that. I wish for all asexuals that don't want sex ever to find the love of their life without sex. I really do wish that for them. And like I said, I think it's going to be some time before I find the right asexual guy for me, because I need a guy who's strong, who's publicly out about being asexual and would publicly be happy to be in a relationship with me, because I'm very much in the public eye and I'm going to get more public. I have to let you know that. I'm going to get more public with other business stuff I'm going to be doing. So it's kind of going to be a bit weird. So I'm going to be doing this and other stuff as well, but so for me it's harder to find someone for a relationship because I'm very much out to the world about being asexual, so that is kind of another challenge. But the right guy will be strong enough to do that. The right guy won't care. They'll be proud that, oh my god, I'm with Sandra who's doing all this work for asexuals, and that's really awesome. And I just want more and more people to be comfortable about saying they're asexual, because only then, when we can get more and more people in the world to say that they're asexual, and that that's a part of who they are and that's their orientation, the more we can get people to say that, the more asexuals say that, and and know it's okay and safe to say that, the more that we can start to filter through into society that it's okay to have a relationship without sex. It can be normal for some people to do that, because it's just making it harder for people. The more people are closed about being asexual, the more people think, oh, I don't want to tell people I'm asexual. It's harder for everyone else who's asexual, because it's harder for society to accept what they don't know. The sooner they get comfortable with asexuality, the sooner they get to know about it, the better it's going to be for everyone, for all asexuals. Because some people are like, oh, I don't need to tell anyone I'm asexual. I don't understand why other asexuals feel the need to say something, because I don't want asexuals living in fear anymore. I want asexuality to be known throughout society, in the world, that it's okay to have a relationship without sex. It's perfectly fine to be in a loving, romantic relationship without sex, or queer platonic relationship without sex. It's perfectly fine to be in a relationship without sex. Sex does not define being in a relationship, which is what it does to a lot of people. They're like, oh, well, if you're not having sex, you're just best friends. That's rubbish. I've got best friends. I don't kiss my best friends. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference. I'll kiss a boyfriend who I'm romantically, aesthetically attracted to, right? I won't kiss my friends. There's a very big, distinct difference. There's stuff I would do with a boyfriend that I would never do with my friends. It's very different. Just because I'm not having sex doesn't mean to say the love is any less. In fact, it's more, because I can love the person without sex. That means if the person gets injured, disabled, has an illness that prevents them having sex, I'll always love them. If I love them, I love them regardless of that. Do you know what I mean? That they can't do that. Whereas some other people, they'll be in a relationship and the partner might have something happen to them, they can't have sex anymore, and they'll get a lot of those partners leave them. It's like, well, if you're not having sex, I can't be doing with it. Off they go, right? And so it's very, very pure love. And to actually be in a relationship without sex and make it work, and because you focus on all the other stuff, the hobbies and interests, they're getting on with each other, you actually, the road and path of what matters in a relationship becomes a lot clearer. Sex does tend to, confuse the mind a lot. Even hormonal stuff, even romantic stuff is difficult sometimes, because there's a lot of hormones going around, a lot of chemicals, and it can distort your view of reality, and it can distort your views of the people or person in front of you. You might be with a person that's not so good for you, and you don't realize it because you're so romantically infatuated with them or in love with them. So I'm a romantic person myself, and that is tough sometimes. But luckily I've got more logic these days than I used to, far more logic, which is a good thing. But I do think in general, overall, asexuals are far more logical when it comes to relationships. That's why it's harder for us to find love without sex as well, because all the people that have sex tend to just jump into the fact, oh, I'm having sex with this person, right? And that will lead to repercussions usually. Could lead to repercussions of a sexually transmitted disease, could lead to repercussions of a baby, could lead to repercussions of someone being more attracted to the other person than them, could lead to possibility of them getting into a relationship that is really no good for them because they're totally wrong for each other on terms of likes, dislikes, interests, hobbies, but because the sex is so like prevalent, they just stay together for the sex, and then after a while they realize that, oh, you like completely different television programs to me, you've got different hobbies to me, I never really see you because you're out with your friends and all the time because we're not really liking any of the same stuff, so we've got nothing really in common, and those people drift apart. Yet they're trying to patch their relationship up with sex because they've got nothing else going for it, and therefore they're having sex without the love. So you can get love without sex, and you can get sex without love. And so this is another reason why it's hard to get love without sex, because people aren't trained in the brain like that. From birth they're trained to have a relationship, have sex, marriage and kids. That's basically a relationship at the end of the day, and that's not how relationships should be. Not serious, loving, deep soulmate connections. A deep soulmate connection should be when you can feel the person's presence, like with you in your mind and your soul, in your heart, regardless of where they are in the world. Love is about wanting to spend precious moments and hours with each other. It's about not getting bored or fed up with each other. It's about, really appreciating the other person. It's about being able to negotiate situations. It's about being able to speak your mind in a way that's the best for those people involved. It's about really opening up your heart and knowing you can trust the person and knowing that they're not going to break your heart. There's so many people that I meet, even online, these guys that message me that are married. It's like, for God's sake, don't get married if you're going to be messaging other women and fancying other women or want sex with other women. What is the frigging point? Just what? Because of society or your culture? Because some of these are foreign guys. I don't see why in this day and age people are having arranged marriages unless it really works. For some people it does. There's two people I know who are Indian friends of mine, online. I've never met them in person. They both had arranged marriages, but they waited till they were older, so that one was 28 and I think the other one was 30, I think. So they waited. They didn't just jump into it, and they found a compatible person for them. And so it's really, really, really important to take your time and to find the right person for you, and make sure that you've got things in common with each other, and you're not just jumping at the latest person that comes along. And it is hard for asexuals. What I fear for asexuals, some asexuals as well, is that you can, and I used to be like this more in the beginning of my asexual journey in 2014. It's like, because we're so limited in numbers, we can try and make a person fit into a relationship with us, despite the fact they're not actually right for us to be in a relationship with. Do you know what I mean? So, and when we're with the wrong person in a relationship, we can't be with the right person. So I would say that if you're an asexual watching this and you know that the relationship you're in is not making you happy, it's not making you fulfilled, and it's not feeling good to you, then to leave, because you don't want to waste your time with the wrong person, because the right one won't come along. I haven't met the right person to be in a relationship with yet, but that doesn't mean to say it can't happen in there's loads of future years. I'm still really young. And so, you've got to have an optimistic outlook, and try not to just take the first thing that comes along, because I know it's kind of difficult when with an asexual person, you can feel kind of like, oh my God, there's limited people. And be very careful of this with sexuals as well, because a lot of sexuals can make you believe that you're not going to get anyone for a no sex relationship, so you've got to be with them because they can do that. A lot of those type of guys are just saying that, they don't really mean it. They're just saying it because they don't think you're not going to get anyone, so that therefore, especially online, guys online do this a lot, sexual guys. They will literally try and twist your mind without you knowing about it, subtly saying, oh well, yeah, it's going to be really difficult for you to find someone, but I'm willing to do that. And all they think it is that you can have this online relationship with them while they go around having sex with loads of other people, because you don't want sex, so therefore you don't want a relationship. That's how a lot of sexual brain thinks, because they equate sex with being in a relationship. Therefore, if you're not having sex, they can have an online relationship with you, still have sex and see other people at the same time. Do you see what I'm saying? So, don't be fooled by a person just showing up and go, oh, I could do without that. It's like, really? You don't know anything about it. You don't know what it would entail. You don't know me. Do you know what I mean? And so, therefore, you can't just accept the first thing they say, because they will try and say anything to have a emotional connection with you online, an emotional relationship, while still having physical with other people. Which, you deserve better than that. You really, really do deserve better than that. So this is also why it's harder to find love without sex, because we can, be so kind of desperate for someone that we can, cling on to the first person that comes along, and they don't really love us. So do not try not to cling on to the personal people that come along. Wait. It's hard, but it's better to wait. I've been waiting now for since 2014, 6 years to find the right guy, but I still will wait however long it takes, or I will stay single forever, because I don't want to get with the wrong person for me. That would be so bad. I'd be so miserable, and I believe there's someone special out there for everyone. And I really wish that more asexuals would be proactive and would actually seek out the relationship they desire, because I know a lot of fearful, a lot of scared. I run asexual dating groups, and a lot of people are in the dating groups and they're not actually posting what they're looking for in a relationship. This is a dating group. Everyone in the group's meant to be looking for a relationship. So why aren't you posting? Be proactive rather than reactive. It's really, 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 really important, So, because a lot of asexuals are introverted, they're trying to wait for other people, other asexuals, for example, to make the first move. You make the first move. Don't keep wanting the other person to make the first move. You be different. You make the first move. I make the first move a lot. Sometimes it works out. And I make a friend at least. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. But, you have to keep trying. And also give yourself some time out as well. You don't have to be in a relationship. I'd say to you right now, if you, like I said a few minutes ago, if you're in the relationship that's wrong for you, you're not happy, you need to get out of it. It's better to be single and have a chance of finding real love without sex than it is to stay in an unhealthy or unhappy relationship. Because if you're with the wrong person, you can't find the right one for you. This is so true. And if you're an asexual person, who does want to be in a relationship with another asexual, for God's sake, tell them about it. I see some asexuals and they really want to be with someone in a relationship. They're so scared of telling them, of hurting the friendship, or just not having the guts. Just go for it. At the end of the day, it'll either work out or it won't, one way or the other. You'll either become better friends over it, or maybe you won't, and you'll have other asexuals come into your life. Don't let scarcity and fearfulness take over you. Whoever's going to be with me in a relationship, he needs to be really strong. He needs to be proud to be with me publicly. He needs to be he needs to be very strong for me, very strong boundaries, okay with me talking about him on my channel, okay with being seen in public with me, okay being known about me. I don't want him, I don't need a guy taking over the limelight, or doing weird stuff. I've had some guys and they're try and take over what I'm doing. It's no, I want a guy to respect my career and be by my side, not actually take over me or what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? You have your career, I have my career. I do things for asexuals publicly. I have a channel, a book, and I help asexuals. You do your own thing. So I don't want the guy, completely encroaching and taking over my life, because that's not love either. Love is when you accept that you have different hobbies, different careers, different interests, and you support each other and there for each other without taking over what they're doing. Because if we're trying to take over, that's a sense of control, and you don't need that control. If you love each other, you should be supporting each other, in the career that they have, not taking over it. I mean, some people work in business together, side by side as well. So they're equal partnerships and stuff like that. It's a bit different if they're both working in the same business together. But if they're not, it's I want to support them in what they do, but I'm not going to take over their whole job and tell them how to do it. So that's this is part of loving someone. Part of loving someone is being supportive and there for each other without taking over their life, and respect the fact they have their own friends, they have their own ways of doing things, and they have their own likes and dislikes, and you have to respect them as a person. And sadly, a lot of the time these days, respect isn't around as much as it used to be. That's why it's harder to find love without sex, because there's a lack of respect. But when you have genuine caringness about each other, that you're there for each other through thick and thin. You kind of can take on the world together in a way. Do you know what I mean? And you've got that really core stability that no matter what happens, whoever comes in your life, you're still going to be together forever. Do you know what I mean? And that's the type of, like, I mean, obviously I like having friendships where you're together forever in friendship, but I also like a romantic relationship, like, do you know what I mean, where you're so you're able to trust each other implicitly, so they're not going to go off on anyone else, and whatever person comes into their life, they're not going to go off with. Because I think that's the danger as well. That's kind of like a personal fear I've had in the past. Like, if I'm in a relationship and then they start getting different friends, are they gonna like go off with them as opposed to me? But like, because I've got really strong friendships now, all of my best friends, it doesn't matter who comes along and be friends with them as well. They're still gonna always care about me as their best friend. Each one of my best friends has kind of proven that to me, and so I can be rest assured in that. And I think that's the sort of type of security you need in a relationship. You need to be so secure in the relationship. And that's why you need bestest ever friendship to start off with. And that's why there's a lack of love without sex. And it's harder because a lot of people go by chemistry and they don't build good friendship to start off with. And you really, really, really do need to build amazingly good friendship with the person first. I've learnt this, I've learnt this, that you really need a strong foundation of friendship over a long, long period of time before you actually get into a relationship with someone, because otherwise you can't trust them. And if you don't have trust, it just kind of undermines any way of getting true love with that person. And so therefore, it's not healthy. And therefore it becomes very toxic quickly sometimes if you jump into a relationship with someone you don't really know them, because you can't trust the other person. Even if you're both trustworthy, it's hard, So always build foundation of friendship first, as an asexual person, get a number of friends, and then obviously the one that you feel that you need to be within a relationship and can never be without in the relationship is the person that I would say to go towards, that person who you always want to be in your life and you love to do anything and everything with the most. Do you know what I mean? And that life without them would just not be as good as with them, and that you just really trust them implicitly. I haven't found anyone suitable for a romantic relationship. There's only one person I really trust relationship wise, and that's my best friend Sam, who's into guys or male looking people, not me, aesthetically, and not into kissing like I am, and I prefer foreign guys anyway, overall, usually in relationships. So we're not suitable romantically, but because I've got 100% trust in them, I've never had that before with anyone else. So I hope I do find someone romantic, a romantic guy who I trust 100% like that. It's never happened in my life, even though I've been in relationships in the past, but hopefully I will, I mean, they are very, very special person, very special. So, I hope they find someone for them, because they deserve someone who's very trustworthy like they are, And I think that's it. You have to try and find someone who's like you, not the same as you and everything, but like you, because when you're like-minded, when you've got like boundaries that are pretty much the same, when you think the same, you act similar, without being totally the same, it's a lot better. Because so I can't be in a healthy relationship with a guy who's got completely different boundaries to me. I can't be in a relationship with a guy who, even if they're asexual, who thinks it's all right to go around cuddling his friends. That is a complete no-no for me in a relationship. I'm monogamous. I don't personally agree with that. My boundaries are I don't do that. So I need a guy that's equally got those same boundaries. That's what I need. Do you know what I mean? So you have to work out what you want. We're all individual asexuals with all different needs. Some are monogamous, some are polyamorous, whatever it is, you need to work out the boundaries with you'd like in a relationship, the type of things, hobbies, interests, the things you would tolerate, the things you wouldn't tolerate, the deal breakers, do you know what I mean? Those type of things. So that's why it's hard to find love without sex as well, is because people don't have an idea necessarily beforehand of the type of relationship they really want. They haven't gone through their deal breakers. They don't know what they want. And so if you don't know what you want, you're never going to find it, because it's like, you know what I mean? You have to know what you're looking for to a certain extent. You have to know, like, for example, I know I don't want kids 100%. I've never wanted children. I think I'm very minority, but I've never wanted kids. I know that since I'm 15 years old. So it's an absolutely no good me getting into a relationship with a guy who definitely wants children. Same as marriage. I used to be into marriage. I'm not into marriage anymore. you know? So there's like things that I just wouldn't do, you know? And I don't want sex ever again in my life, even though I had it in the past. It's just not comfortable for me. It's not who I am. I don't really derive much pleasure from that at all. You know, like, yeah, I can feel physical stuff, but I much prefer kissing. I always have done, I always will do, you know? So, you know, you have to work out what your deal breakers are, what you will accept, what you won't accept, and what other things you need in a relationship. Like, I do need kissing. I can't be in a relationship with a guy who doesn't really want to kiss me. Although I'm asexual, I lack sexual attraction. I desire to be desired. I desire to be wanted in a physical way, but with my clothes on, with kissing, not with genitals. Um, so, you know, I desire a person to say, oh, you find me aesthetically attractive and beautiful personality and being drawn to me like that. You know, that's the type of thing I desire. So you've got to work out what type of things you desire in a relationship, what type of things would make you really happy. I mean, I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who doesn't really love kissing me, because that wouldn't work out, would it, if I really love kissing? Because I'd feel like, well, I'm not getting my needs met, and plus I don't want to push someone to do something they're not comfortable doing it. I want a guy to desire to kiss me, think, oh, I love your face and your lips so much, I really want to kiss you. That type of desire. Do you know what I mean? It's very important to me. So, you know, or in life, we all have different desires. We all have different things that we want in a relationship. So, you know, you need to be writing this stuff out, or at least have a mental idea of it in your mind as to what things you really desire in a relationship. Because otherwise, you're going to have any Tom, Dick, and Harry come your way, and you're just going to start thinking, oh, that might be all right. When really, you know, like, it's like, for example, on mingle2.com, which isn't for asexuals, but I'm on there anyway. You know, there's people that are saying, oh, yes, I want children. And they're messaging me, and clearly I don't want kids. So they haven't probably read my profile. So all automatically they're all cancelled out. I'm not interested in anyone who wants to have kids. I don't want kids. I never have done. I am the kid. I'm very, very young. There's no more. I don't want that lifestyle. If I was a mother, I'd be a completely different person. I don't want to be a mother, and I don't want to be that lifestyle. I certainly wouldn't physically give birth to kids. I worked out at 15, I would have adopted if I'd have decided to go that route, but I don't want it. I'm a career girl. I like having my own parties. I like living my own life. You know, I'm very independent. I like my career. It's really important to me. So, you know, so you have to really, really do work out what you want and what you don't want. Because I come across some asexuals and they're like, oh, I don't know what type of relationship I want. Don't really know what I'm looking for. You know, and some people are like, oh, I'll know it when I see it or find it. It's like, but you need to know what you're looking for and actually do make an effort to go out there. Like, I do agree that, you know, if you're really that desperate, you're not necessarily like to find the right person for you, because it's not giving up good vibes, it's giving on desperate vibes. So I don't think you should be desperate. I think you should be figuring out what you want, going after it when opportunities arise, but not panicking if it doesn't happen, and still enjoying your single life as much as possible. So if you find someone, it's great. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. It's still good, because sometimes you just need to be single. Sometimes it's better for you to be single. Sometimes you can have the most fantastic times being single. I do love my single life as well so much. I really love my single life. So yeah, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, and insightful. I really do. And that might be it for you. You might prefer your single life as well. That might be why you find it hard to find love without sex. Because to actually go back into a relationship, or to have a relationship, might be creating some sacrifice in your life that you don't really want to make, even if it's subconsciously. So there's a lot of subconscious stuff that goes on as to why we don't actually find love. For me, for example, I have this big need to go out dancing. I like dancing. I like doing dirty dancing. I like doing sexy dancing. I like kissing younger foreign guys in clubs. Like, I couldn't do that if I was in a serious committed relationship, unless the guy I was in a relationship with was one of those young guys who went clubbing with me and kissed me in the club. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I would have to give up doing that, or give up the kissing younger foreign guys in clubs and just do the dancing. I don't mind doing dancing on my own. I can dance for hours on my own, but it does get a bit boring after a while. So it might just be that I'm off single, or at least for time. But then if I found the right Indian guy, for example, for me, I think I'd be like, yeah, I just want to kiss him. You know, I don't need these other guys. But you know, whatever I haven't found the right romantic guy for me, then that's what I like to do, and it's no good for a relationship. And also, I get relationship anxiety, so being in a relationship is not necessarily the best thing for me anyway. And you know, like, when you're in that type of mindset or feeling or vibration, as it were, you know, you give off, but you how can I put it? subconsciously, even though you say you want a relationship, you might subconsciously not. So with me, I really would desire a romantic relationship with the right younger, foreign, asexual Indian guy. Part of me thinks maybe that's a bit impossible to get, and the other bit is like, don't be so silly, of course it's possible. So I kind of have a conflict in my mind, and when you have that kind of conflict, it's very, very difficult to actually find the right person, because you've got this inner conflict. And I've got the battle between, I love my single life so much, I want to kind of partly want to stay single forever in some ways, and then in other ways I really, really want to be in a relationship, in the romantic friendship type of soulmate deep connection way. I think if I met the right asexual guy, it would all fall into place, and I wouldn't be having all these worries and stuff. But because I haven't met the right person yet, and I love my single life so much, and wherever I love my single life, like, if my soul is saying, well, you just really love kissing guys in clubs, which I can't do obviously at the moment because of lockdown when I'm recording this live in May 2020, that because I like doing that, to get into a relationship now, it would mean I have to give up that, and I don't want to give up that right now. Not unless it was a completely right person for me to be in a relationship with in the first place. So, and I don't know how dancing would fit in. I need to find a guy who would be very, very faithful to me if we went to a club, because obviously, if you're, for example, you're with a guy who's not asexual and you go to a nightclub, he'll usually be looking around at the other women because he's interested in sex, and therefore it's harder to have a love without sex relationship. Because even if they're saying they can go without sex, if they're looking around at other people, they're still, sex is still on their mind. Do you know what I mean? That's another reason why it's hard to find love without sex. When you go to clubs, predominantly they all go in there for sex anyway. I love the dancing, and I'd be great if I could meet the right asexual Indian guy, for example, out clubbing for an actual relationship. I do hold a bit of hope out for that. So all I can say is keep being you, have a really good idea of what you want in terms of a relationship, be proactive rather than reactive. Don't take the first person that comes along and saying they can give you the relationship you want without actually checking them out, becoming friends with the person, seeing if they're all talk. Because a lot of people can talk, they can talk the talk, but then they walk the walk. In other words, actions speak louder than words. It doesn't matter what the person says, unless they live up to what they say, they're not genuine, right? Anyone can say, oh yeah, I can have a sex-free relationship with you. A lot of the time, if they're not asexual, they don't really mean it, sadly. Or they don't understand what it entails. They think you're joking or not being real or not being true, or they think you're making it up, or whatever they think in there. Well, they just think it's temporary. Like, you're just saying that because obviously a lot of guys come on to women and have sex. They think that you're just being cautious and saying you don't have sex for the time being, because you're just getting to know the person. That's not the case if you're asexual who doesn't want sex. If you're an asexual who doesn't want sex, you don't want sex, full stop. It doesn't change when you get into a relationship. It doesn't matter. I can kiss a guy for 3 hours. I can feel arousal in my body for 3 hours. I don't want sex with the guy. Just doesn't happen. I just don't want sex. However aroused my body gets, however much I love him, however attracted to I am to him, however much I want to cuddle him or kiss him, I don't want sex with him. But a sexual person doesn't usually understand that, because for them, sexual attraction and sexual arousal, they all go together. They can't do one without the other. Whereas I have the arousal but zero sexual attraction. Diddly squat. Nothing's there. It's like a piece of wood. It's dead in that way. You know what I mean? It's just like a cut piece of wood, not actually a living tree. And so it's very difficult, because of all these mismatched needs. But you have to really understand what you want. And wherever I'm in the frame of mind at the moment, that like, I haven't found the right guy for me, and that going out clubbing when I can go out clubbing, kissing younger foreign guys, really enjoying myself and partying and loving that type of life. I just can't see me actually getting the right relationship, because I really do like my freedom. And sometimes in a relationship, if I'm being honest, I do feel a bit trapped. I feel trapped that I can't have the life I want with the person that I'm in the relationship with, and that I can't breathe very well, in the sense that I'm not able to go out and do the things I want to do as much, because I have to consider the other person all the time. And that sounds really bad, but that's being kind of honest when I reflect sometimes on myself. I reflect on, like, what's the issue? Is it really you can't find someone with a relationship, or is it really subconsciously you don't actually want one, or there's things that that you feel that if you get into a relationship you feel trapped? And obviously I have been in really bad relationships in the past, abusive ones, and I don't want to get in that situation ever again. So that's a very scary thing And I don't trust. There's only one person I trust in my life. That's my best friend Sam. I don't trust any other people 100% in terms of relationships. I just don't. And so unless I find a romantic guy who I 100% trust in a relationship, it's never going to happen anyway. Can't be in a relationship, or if I did, it would be one that wasn't 100% trusting, and that's not very good, really. I do think it's hard to 100% trust anyone, because you never really truly know most people. You never really truly know anyone, really, because there's always a side that you'll never ever see. So when you 100% trust someone, there might be things you still need to learn about them later on and stuff, but you just know that you can trust them because of the way they are. They've proven they're trustworthy in their actions and the way they speak and what they do, and follow through on their actions, follow through on their words. Do you know what I mean? So you've got a lot of things to take into consideration. And even sexuals, not just asexuals, find it difficult to find a relationship. I'm in sexual dating groups on Facebook, and I listen to some of the comments they say, and they find dating hard. They find that if they go on dating sites, it's like all about having sex. And even though they're sexual, they don't just want that. They don't just want dick pics, or they don't just want to have sex all the time. That's not going to make a relationship. It doesn't make a relationship. And that's why you have to ask yourself, the people you come across, are they actually looking for sex, or are they looking for a relationship? Which one are they actually looking for? Or is it both? You know what I mean? Because some of them are just looking for sex. That's it. And that's kind of like with me, I think with sexuals, I'm not going to, I'm more suited to asexuals overall, because I don't want sex, I don't like it, don't need it, and I feel more comfortable around asexual guys. But in terms of like my kissing needs, I'm more suited to a sexual guy. But then sexual guys want to take it too far because they want to go to sex, which I don't. So I need an asexual guy for me who's kind of like really into the physical kissing without the sex. So, there's just so many different needs and wants and desires of people. So unfortunately, it's hard to get a match, But it's not just asexuals that have this problem, it's sexuals as well. And I think the more we do have freedom, it's like I have so much freedom in my life. I don't want to live with a guy because I'm so used to be able to come through the door when I feel like it. I'm so used to be able to go out when I want, do what I want, and I don't want to give my independence up. I'm definitely not a submissive person either. I don't want to be doing housework for a guy. I don't want to be submissive to a guy. And obviously these are very, again, traditional, stereotypical gender roles. Is expected of females usually to do what the guy says a lot of the time, to be submissive, to do housework for him is like kind of like an expected thing, even in British culture, quite a lot still. The woman's expected to cook and clean for the guy when he comes home. Or it's like, no, I don't do stuff like that. I'm not interested. It makes me miserable. I'm not going to live a miserable life like that for anyone. That's not love. If I don't want to do housework and I hate it, why would I want to do that for a guy and make myself do something I hate just for the sake of saying I love someone? That's not love, in my opinion. That's forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do for the sake of the word love, which that isn't love, because you don't love yourself. I love myself enough to walk away from a guy who isn't right for me. I love myself enough to not be doing stuff in the first place that's not helpful for me. I don't love and enjoy. Do you know what I mean? So it's really important that you take care of your own needs as well. If you're going to try and find love without sex, you need to make sure you're looking after yourself as well, and your own needs, not just the needs of the other person. It makes it harder to find love without sex, but it's more worth it. It's more worth it to hold out for someone who can love you for who you are. And I know a lot of guys, for example, a lot of foreign guys, they want a house type of woman. They want a marriage, and they want a woman to cook and clean for them. That's not who I am. They can get loads of women like that. It's like I can easily get a guy for sex. I don't want that. It's not difficult for me. Seems to be difficult for a lot of other people that actually really want sex, but it's not difficult for me who doesn't want it. And so again, like love without sex is hard to come by, but it is out there. And just don't give up. Know yourself really well. Don't accept. I can't even speak now. Don't accept second best. Be the person you were born to be. Live your dreams. Live as a happy single person until and if the right person comes along for you, and appreciate the friendships you've got and the kindness and caringness of people who you come across, even if it's not, even if it's not to be in a relationship with. That still, love is not just being in a relationship. Love is loving your family, your friends, and just people you come across, having a loving attitude towards people. I think, more and more people should have a loving, caring attitude towards one another, to make the world a better place in general. But finding love without sex in a relationship is difficult, and it's partly because you don't know what you need, or even if you do think you know what you need, maybe you don't, because you're subconsciously sabotaging yourself. Like, I'm probably subconsciously sometimes sabotaging myself because part of me really wants a relationship and the other part doesn't. The other part really doesn't want a relationship. So because I'm so contradictory in what I want and what I don't want, it's not so likely to happen for me, is it? Do you know what I mean? So but then sometimes you can contradict yourself because you don't see any specific other options right now in your life. So if I met a guy that fulfilled a lot of my criteria of what I'm looking for in a relationship, then possibly I wouldn't be so contradictory, because I'll be like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I've wanted for a long time. But you have to make sure that you do check that person out for a long period of time, years we're talking about. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for everyone who's given me a thumbs up already. I really, really appreciate you. I really love you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for being my wonderful community here. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great subscribe button, and please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. Thanks to Ben, who appeared earlier in chat. And thanks so much to Heather. I love you loads, Heather. You're an amazing, incredible person. And it's so good. Heather's not asexual, but she supports this channel. I really love her dearly. She's an amazing person. And take care and embrace your quagging on each other. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Thank you. Bye.